Purpose. Brought to you by Uganda First.
Hello, welcome to Youth of Purpose, a show that is here to give you a platform as a young person to also contribute to this country's development and have your opinions presented and be able to also comment on issues of national importance. Now we so much love to engage in leadership, in politics, in economics and stuff. And today we have an opportunity to talk about youth inclusion in politics and economic empowerment for the growth of Uganda. And I'm going to be talking to a very brilliant young people to be able to elaborate on a number of issues, their opinion and what they think they can be able to do as young people to contribute to this country's development. Welcome to Youth of Purpose.
Thank you.
Kindly say hello to the viewer.
Hello everyone, my name is Okotola, I'm a lawyer.
Hello everyone, my name is Joan Patience Atfire. I'm a youth activist. I work with the Young Women's Alliance for Human Rights.
Who is an activist?
An activist is someone who commits career-wise to advancing people's rights, the different human rights issues that are there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. These days I see a lot of people saying I'm a human rights activist and stuff. So I was just saying, okay, so where is this coming from? Is there somewhere they train people to become activists and stuff?
First of all, I think personality-wise, you just feel drawn to solve like empathy.
Yeah.
So we feel drawn to support, to listen to people. So you do it more professionally because you want to reach out to more and more people rather than just the few people that you've been reaching out to. Yeah.
Okay, coming to some, to your understanding and to the issue of how issues are standing today, what's your perspective as far as youth inclusion in politics and economic empowerment is concerned?
What is a politician and what is politics in Uganda today? Most of us imagine a man in a suit yelling, telling lies and all the dirty things that we associate with politics. But like we have been discussing around here, politics is more than justice. Actually, how do we define politics? We need to transcend and look at it as an umbrella term for so many things that happen around us. When you look at the roads in your community, when you look at the health care, when you look at the state of sewage, when you look at the quality of air you breathe, that's all politics. When I look at the situation in Uganda today, I see a close to radical or what we call polarized situation where everything is heated. It's like a hot kettle and we're all in it. But politics is actually just basic civics. How can we participate in the community? And we see the county system in the US where people actually participate in their communities and the communities are thriving. If there's a rich man, he will build a school, give scholarships. That's politics, that's participation. That's why when we were in school, even the richest parents would come for parents-teacher meetings and quarrel with each other. That's politics. So how can we get back to a better understanding of politics? For me, the main issue I have is right now we have a crop of young Ugandans who have access to media, have access to air out their voice, and they even have a duty to participate in politics. But and this starts from 18 according to the law when we are allowed to vote. But when you look from our time from 0 to 18 years, we are taught nothing about the political world, and yet we are expected to be golden stars of this politics and rule of law. So I see a very big gap between these ages that we need to address. How can we prepare our young people to be active citizens of Uganda, of Africa? And that's the key gap that I see. Now, if you'll allow me just speak about two ways of imparting this civic culture in us. One is the theory, which is, do you know what a country is? Do you know what it takes to respect each other? Do you know what it takes to express yourself but respect your neighbor? These are the small things we are fighting with. It starts from kindergarten, by the way. Do you know that in kindergarten they say once you dirty here, clean it? If you bring that to actual politics, it works. Because if you make a mistake, you clean, you say sorry. These are the basics that we need to bring back. The second is practice. Can we give young people an opportunity to practice politics, civics. For example, the main way now is voting, but voting is not enough. In a country like Switzerland, we can actually sit here and draft a petition, and if a certain number of people agree to it, it's law, it's binding. Those are opportunities for young people to participate. So can we give the theory and the practical to the young people so that we open up more channels of expressing our anger, energy, so that when things don't heat up the way we are really in a hot kettle. And that is the way I see Uganda right now.
Thank you so much. Coming to you, Joan. You see, he paints a very good picture and you start thinking, wow, this is the politics we would love as young people to inherit. Is the politics we are having in Uganda today the kind that you would like us as the young people to emulate? And if not, what kind of politics do you think would work for the best of Uganda?
As he was speaking, he mentioned something about how everyone is drawn towards politics in Uganda. Which is okay, which is a good
whether
thing.
You want it or not,
yes,
the politics will affect you.
Yes, because politics must interest us. But to what extent is it interesting us, and what is the quality of that political system that we are following? So I believe fundamentally in Uganda currently, our political system is one where everyone is drawn to it because that's where the money is. The government is the biggest spender in the country. So everyone wants to join politics because it's the only way they're going to be able to earn a 20 million salary, you know. A poor man will grow up and say, I need to become MP by all means because that's the only way for me to earn such a salary. So it's important for us, as he said, to shift towards civic education again. Go to the basics and educate people that when you're going into leadership, you're not going for the money, but you're actually going to serve. Because the heart of service is really missing. That link between service and service delivery, it's critical that we pay attention to the quality of leaders being nurtured. And then for the young people, we are not taking time to invest in ourselves to study things that affect policy. For instance, study the economy, study political systems, study different countries and how they're doing things. We just come out of school and we're like, hey guys, I'm done with university at Makerere and I want to stand for MP. But what are you going to give as a young person? You need to go into the political scene as someone who is competent, because as young people we have almost 10 times the challenge to prove our competence, because our culture says young people cannot do certain things, young people cannot reason, young people are irresponsible. So it's important for us to invest time now that we are young to study and groom ourselves, because that's the only way we shall be good politicians.
To my understanding, you know, when you talk about politics and stuff, we so much look at, you know, leadership and, you know, those positions. But politics is a lot like you described it. And if, for example, we're to be leaders and stuff, we can be able to serve in many other ways. It doesn't have to be in political positions and stuff. So, to my understanding, leadership is solving problems. If you can identify a problem in a society, in your community and solve it, you're a leader. It really beats my understanding when we keep lamenting and complaining about positions and stuff. I want to understand the young people who are in leadership positions, have they been able to serve to our own interests?
Yes, thank you very much for that question. So, like you rightfully say, there are many ways to. First of all, I want to make it very clear that contestation is healthy. It's good to argue. Yeah, actually, one of the key markers of successful people is their ability, your ability to disagree with things that you don't want to like, you don't like, because humility may not take you far. But that said, we need to groom a proper way of, that said, that now that we know contestation must happen for us to grow, we need to teach people how to actually argue. When you go into a space, even you're saying there are other ways to serve a country, even in those spaces you need to be political. But you go into an argument with the aim of understanding the other party. That's that way you don't just end up yelling at each other. Now, talking about the youth leaders in our system, for me, I see Uganda like a computer. So a computer has hardware, that is a monitor, a desktop and everything, and a mouse. That is our government institutions' laws. And they are very good. We have one of the best laws for you just look at the oil deal. If you look at the human rights laws, anti-torture, all these laws are very thorough, the constitution. So the issue is not the hardware, the issue is the software. And we have a software crisis.
That's on the issue of implementation.
It's the culture. You see, when you talk of rule of law is not writing down, it's a culture. For example, let me give you an example. That me as Ola, I don't understand torture. And it's because of the software that has been given to me, not by our system here, but because I'm always on media, seeing the globalized human rights view. So my software is programmed by the global view. I simply can't understand beating another person. It's not in my system. So it's the same thing with what software are our young leaders using. If you put young leaders in the software of the generation that we're inheriting, then they will work like that. So you'll find that even the national youth bodies, they're not working because they're using an old software. So that is how I can give you a better picture. So now we have to see now what informs a modern mind. Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing because we have now more tools. We have Twitter, TikTok, amazing tools, and we are now working with the whole world. You cannot do something in Ugandan bad. An American will quarrel because we are now one, and we have been groomed in the same way. So personally, if you ask me about young leaders in Uganda, I think they're trying their best, but I think their software is outdated. We need to give them the chance to innovate, to bring something new, and also to express themselves fully, because they represent actually the biggest number of Ugandans. And you can imagine, it was already big before COVID. You can imagine the average age of Uganda right now. All of us here are actually old Ugandans. Yeah, we are youth, but we are old.
Thank you. Coming to you, John, what are some of the barriers to youth inclusion in the politics and economic empowerment for this country's growth?
As he mentioned earlier, he said that we are working with an old software. So basically, we have a lot of systemic challenges that prohibit young people from thriving in political spaces and even economic spaces. And the first one is financing. How many young people have the finances to run for political positions, especially in a terrain environment where politics is largely monetized? For people to take you as a serious person,
you must have the money.
Yes, you must have the money. I must be able to portray myself a certain way with certain hair, and I genuinely can't afford it. So our political environment puts so many demands on young people to appear a certain way. So you find they're taking loans. Next, they are going to parliament and not delivering.
They have to pay back.
Yes, it's an entire cycle, a toxic cycle that we are cultivating. So for me, I believe largely it is the financing. Two, we have a challenge with how we respond to the laws that are no longer serving young people. If there is a law being passed, for instance, social media law, and we are going into a scientific election, as young people, this is something that affects us, but how are we questioning it, Which paths are we using to question such a thing that is affecting millions of Ugandans and not only politicians? So I believe, as he said, the way we've been operating, probably the youth leaders are being choked and they cannot really communicate effectively and say these are the youth issues and genuinely say them, because we are at a position where we want to go to middle income status, but we must also remain sane, even when we want to go to middle income status. So we are really battling so many things, but regardless of that, I think youth leaders need to do what they have to do. They need to speak up because youth are marginalized. We don't have money. We don't have careers. We're literally just putting things together. And the few of us who are privileged, we are very few. So
So sometimes we like putting our responsibilities to other people, and sometimes we do blame game.
Yeah.
One of the best ways to be able to be empowered is by being knowledgeable and informed.
Yeah.
We have social media, we have internet and stuff. Leave out the issues of the internet being expensive and stuff. We still afford it to do WhatsApp, TikTok,
Yeah.
and the rest. What can we do to make sure that the young people are informed and knowledgeable, such that you can sit on the table and discuss with young people and feel they have substance in what they are talking about? Because that's how we'll be respected and be given an opportunity to be able to put our issues across.
Yeah. Well, we live in an age of information. And what's interesting is that it's actually funny, because sometimes when you're exposed to too much information, you don't know what to consume.
Yeah.
And it's a big problem for us young people. When we have the most information in history, we actually fail to consume it. So here's what I think. We're in the fourth industrial revolution, and these things that are coming about, the new technologies, and not even not even the latest of blockchain, no, just even social media is a big revolution in democracy. Look at how the politics of Uganda has moved onto Twitter. Nobody even watches parliament anymore. You know,
Yeah.
you know, it's a very interesting thing. But how do we aggregate some of these opportunities to ourselves? Really, we have to. Those who have the chance, please go ahead, learn these technologies, learn how to create a blockchain, learn how to make a website, learn how to do graphics, because this is how we are going to communicate. One picture can tell 1,000 stories. Educate yourself deeply, because what we lack right now is depth. You know, because we're exposed to too many opportunities, we start lowering the value of depth. But there's actually real value in going deep into one issue like human rights. That's one way of learning. The second way is go to the people and listen to them, observe them, participate in their projects, give them what you know as a young person, especially us who are living in urban centers. I recently went to the village, to the garden, and I was supervising I wanted to set up my garden for bananas, and I had to work with my mom to get locals to dig the holes for bananas. But the whole process of hiring these men, living with them just for a few days, taught me a lot about my people. It's useless to go so far and lose your roots. So those are the two best ways. Just go observe the people, support them, let them feel like they have won by you being around them.
Coming to the issue of economic empowerment, you know, youth have been so much affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, the same way other people have been affected. But majorly, you know, it's the young people that are in these small and medium businesses. How can we ensure that the youth participate and, you know, help to boost the economy?
You need to create a gap, position yourself.
Wow.
Like, government funds are going to come, but it may not happen that the government is going to come to your doorstep and say, Joanne, you have a business, we want to fund this business.
Yeah.
You have to reach out to these ministries that are giving out these funds and tell them, hey, I have a business. Our group in this and this area, this and this division did not access government funds. Why? And yet we are eligible.
Yeah.
So we need to position ourselves and also hold government accountable. If funds have come for the youth, why hasn't my division got the funds, you know?
Or my group.
Yes, or even the group. So in that way, young people will be benefiting. But if young people just coil, hide, and then you keep complaining, government will never benefit from the projects that come. It is a transparent process.
Yeah.
You can benefit, I can benefit, other groups can benefit. If others have, why not you? Challenge we have is that young people are doing things but there is no value addition. And that's a challenge. If there is no value addition, you cannot export. Even the market that you're addressing or serving
should be limited.
Narrow. Yes. So it's important for young people to go into value addition, to gather knowledge, gain knowledge from how other young people or even older people are doing. And then don't fear to work in partnerships.
Teamwork.
Because yes, for us we think that other young people, this one is my enemy.
Wow.
The market is wide enough. Like if you want to start a business, shoot your shot. Start it. Stop thinking that people are competing with you. I don't know. The market is wide enough. Yeah.
How can we be able to work on the issue of mindset, majorly for the young people?
When you want to change, and I'm speaking now directly to you, my fellow young person, when you want to change a community, it starts with you. For example, if you make yourself, if you do the right things, you go farm in the season and become rich, you're actually increasing the wealth of your area. You're increasing the wealth of your family. If you go and jog every day, you're increasing the number of healthy people in Uganda. So before you move out far, you just see the big impact, because you're a statistic. When they say 50 people are sick of lifestyle diseases in your area and you're one of them, you're not helping. So I always encourage people to look deeply into themselves, and you're actually Uganda, you as a person. Yeah, and that is where the change starts. So mindset is all about you. And we can always complain about these people, you know, in power, in politics, in what.
Yeah.
But if you break yourself into the different aspects, politically, do you inform yourself every day? No. It means you're one of the ignorant Ugandans, and you're increasing the number of ignorant people in your area. Yeah. When you go economically, are you working hard to make money?
No.
If you're not, you're making your whole area poor before even the funds come. Socially, are you a good citizen? If you're not, then you're spoiling the whole, from family to village, to county, to district, to Uganda, to Africa. You're the problem.
Yeah.
So that is a mindset that I wanted to leave with the people that are from today's discussion. Thank you very
Amazing.
much.
As we conclude, how do we start as young people to change the way politics is played here, and we start playing politics of interests? It doesn't matter. The time we reached here, I don't know which party you are. I don't know which party you are. But we're talking about issues concerning our country as Uganda. And before the parties and any other thing, we are Ugandans first. How can we as young people foster playing politics of interests and for the better of Uganda?
For all that we do, like our political parties are just colors, symbols, and drivers to this thing.
Yeah.
But fundamentally, if something is pro-development, whether it's being done by opposition, whether it's being done by government, we need to say this is something we are going to push collectively and put all our effort there. What we are lacking is that sense of unified connection towards one goal. We say we want to achieve middle income status, but we are leaving behind women. We are leaving behind persons with disability. We are leaving behind the youth and even children. So as young people, we need to unlearn negative competition where we look at each other as an enemy, but learn to work together, learn to work in groups. If you don't have sufficient capital to start up your business, look for other friends, pitch your idea to them, so that you can be able to start something that's bigger, you know? There is an African proverb that says, alone you go fast, but together you go far.
Yeah.
So it's important for us to harness the potential of our friends, but also divide the risk, you know? Because your business may fail alone. But if you're as a group, you don't really feel the pinch so much. Yeah.
So as you said in the beginning, that the politics will always at most times actually, affect the economics. How can we play politics that, you know, works better for our economy? Because you see, for example, when issues are happening in politics, talk about when the demonstrations and stuff, and we destroy the roads. When you go back to schools, when we used to have a lot of strikes, you're demolishing the structures and stuff, breaking the windows, the glasses and stuff. How do we do politics that doesn't affect our economy? Like other countries, definitely they do have political challenges, but they make sure that their economy will keep moving. They make sure the economy is not affected. How can we balance to make sure that the politics will not so much take us back as far as the development of our economy is concerned?
Okay, thank you very much. So I I would like to approach the issue of politics from how we can grow it. Firstly, we need to look at things from the economic perspective. And as I said, Uganda was actually a company at first. And the colonialists benefited from this and left. Now it's on us. How do we manipulate Uganda as an economic unit? Uganda is one of the richest countries in East Africa. We have the highest asset value. Not GDP, but asset value. Most of us have land somewhere. It's rare, fertile land.
The resources.
Almost the whole country is fertile. Yeah? We are Pearl of Africa for a reason. So, and as an economic unit, once we start buying and selling, this issue of Central, Baganda, Banyankole, Acholi, it will die. We'll start now arguing about markets. And that's a better debate. I rather argue about market than where I was born, which, you know, I didn't choose that, to be born in the north.
Oh, yeah.
But once we start saying, no, we want more, we want our coffee from this area also going out.
Yeah.
We want milk from this area going out. Can we get maize? Can we? Now that's a higher level. Yes, we will fight politically, but it's a stronger level of debate. So let us buy and sell fast. Uganda will form itself very beautifully along the way once we start doing that. And I would like to reiterate, just unify. Once you come 2 or 3 together, you will create, my friends have now started a soda factory. There are about 6 graduates of chemical engineering. That's, you know, and I was really proud of their setup. And because they brought brains together, money just followed, you know. So
I think that's what we want to see, to start seeing, you know, engineering students come from university and provide a solution to the maybe housing deficit that we're having in this country. I think that's where we should be going.
Exactly.
And that makes sense for me when you bring about the discussion of saying economic empowerment is going to help us to grow even our politics. When people have money, then they will not be playing politics of I've been given money to vote someone. Or come and say our community needs a health center, it needs ABCD, and this is what you need to be.
And we cannot even allow people to burn houses when we have built a city on industries.
You're right.
You know, we change. We now not. You can riot, but go somewhere. Don't touch our buildings, because now we're at a higher level of debate. Thank you.
We want you to be able to see that as the young people, we have sense, we have the knowledge. All we need is the platform and you to believe in us that we can contribute in making Uganda better. If you don't mentor us, I don't know where you want to leave Uganda. In whose hands do you want to leave Uganda? And it's your role to make sure that you've been able to mentor us to be well positioned and having the right attitude, mentality to be able to handle the issues of this nation better. Youth of Purpose is here to inspire you, transform you, and empower you as a young person to contribute to this country's development. I thank you so much for watching this show. My name is Ivan Tumukunde. Follow me on all my social media platforms. I'm on Twitter, I_Tumukunde, on Instagram, I_Tumukunde, and on Facebook at Tumukunde. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.
Youth of Purpose, brought to you by Uganda First.